Welcome to Wrestleheads, folks. I'm Chuck Jones.
I'm Randy Dixon.
Welcome to Wrestleheads. We're gonna go ahead and We're gonna start the show off by sending our respects and our, our love and respect to the Ali family. Condolences. Sports world, actually the world itself, lost a great person in Muhammad Ali, also known as Cassius Clay. He passed away over the weekend, and us here at Wrestleheads just want to send our condolences
out to the family, to the fans, and everything. If you sit there and think about it, Muhammad Ali wasn't just a boxer. He transcended boxing as a civil rights.
He was an activist for sure.
You can think about it. How many people really, truly believe in their beliefs where they will go to jail for an extended period of time, lose damn near, 3 years of his fucking career in his prime. In his prime for his beliefs. I mean, he might have said stuff over the years back then when he was talking that might have been controversial, might not be agreed with. And I mean, you got people out there call him a draft dodger, stuff like that.
We basically are like the manifestation of what he did, because we sit here on our show and we say whatever the hell we want, when we want, and if anybody ever tried us, we'd back it up. And it was the same thing with him. He said everything he wanted to say, and he backed every word of it up. So with that being said, our condolences go out to the Ali family and Layla Ali. Hope you're all right, and everything. And
let's just have a quick moment.
Okay. We also lost Sean Rooks, NBA star, assistant coach.
76ers.
Also condolences to him and his family also. It's been a tough year. We're only halfway through and we've lost so many folks. But we're not gonna weigh you all the way down with that. Now the name of the game is professional wrestling, and this is actually the middle of the week, Wednesday, June 8th. So we're gonna cover the first part of this week and what went down last week. We just came off the heels of NXT's show, The End. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to the Monday Night Raw notes, the TNA notes, the Lucha Underground notes, this match between Will Ospreay and Ricochet that's been buzzing all over the internet, and a whole lot more. So sit down, strap into your seats. This is Wrestleheads. And we had a theme. It would have came on right there.
The whole theme.
Exactly.
That was like 2 years ago, the producer ago.
So now, the WWE notes for the week, the Raw and SmackDown notes, the overlying thing that everyone's waiting for is not only the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, but they're also waiting for the draft, where they're going to split the brands up again. You got some notes on that. Triple H knowing that some of that NXT talent is going to be poached. In the news and notes section, we'll give you more information about that also. But kicking it with Monday Night Raw last week and this week, they're slowing down the Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins storyline to the effect of, they really want to give you background on each individual superstar, where they were and what took them to get to where they are right now. You've seen a lot of that this week on Raw, where they looked at both superstars' side from coming in with the Shield and then manifesting into the big championship match that they have ahead of themselves at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
But they got some of the footage from back when they was in Florida Championship Wrestling, because all three, including Ambrose in this conversation, all three of them was together in Florida Championship Wrestling. People forget, Seth Rollins was the first NXT champion. People forget that. That's a little history fact for you right there. And and they were sitting there going, one part was Rollins, the other part was Reigns, and you see what they going through. And I got to see some of Rollins, his 24/7 to reclaim,
the rehabilitation.
Reclaim, rebuild, and redesign, or I might got them out of order. But the point of the shit is, it wasn't bad. It had his family and stuff on there. I looked at it before the NXT. I was waiting for the NXT, and they had that on there. And, you know, it gave you some backstory. And then they showed Seth Rollins in the box at WrestleMania watching it.
How frustrating
he was frustrated. And then you can see towards the end when he was down, he's like, man, I can't be around this shit. I got to get out of here. And then you see him at the training center, retraining, you know, practicing pedigree, practicing the moonsault, practicing all his moves and his array of shit to make sure he's ready with his little physical therapist right there. And he sat there and you got to see him come back. I mean, with that being said, you know, they trying to build this. I mean, I didn't agree with the shit. I mean, you can check the past show where I felt like they should have been physical. But I know from now on, it should be physical. Because I'm like, okay, you just showed the backstory. You just showed them standing in the ring holding hands down there. You know, sitting there just slow talking shit. You got to get to some physical shit. Somebody got to get jawed.
Well, I think the Money in the Bank pay-per-view is in 2 weeks. So we got this Sunday to go past, and then the following Sunday is the show. And that's in Las Vegas. So definitely on Monday Night Raw, they'll probably have the contract signing, which will definitely probably get physical. What I liked about this week on Raw, as far as the heavyweight championship picture, they took it personal. I mean, they really gave you a personal look into their personal lives. As far as how these title reigns have gone, you got to see Roman Reigns' side of it, where he's like, man, my family was there when Brock Lesnar beat the fuck out of him at WrestleMania. And then Seth Rollins stole his moment as he was already getting his heat to come back. And you see the frustration on his dad's face. And then if you looked on Wrestleheads a few months back, after WrestleMania, where Roman Reigns overcame the big giant and, you know, won the championship, you saw his dad's reaction then too, where he was like really happy and stuff. So, I mean, that's what they're doing as far as Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, the main event of Money in the Bank. And then the Money in the Bank match itself for the briefcase, they still haven't put that extra person in there. You know, still holding out hope that the seventh person will be Bray Wyatt. Yeah. But all they're doing basically with those guys is just, you know, they're mix matching them around and they're having them go in these different matches.
This one, they started off the show with sitting on ladders.
I didn't like that. I didn't really care for that, because it's like you have all 6 of these guys sitting on ladders and they're trying to kill the 15 minutes or whatever, and it's just, I don't know. I didn't care for it, but they definitely mixed them up.
Can I tell you another thing I didn't care about it? I mean, we pretty much knocked that. The whole Stephanie McMahon and Teddy Long. You bring Teddy Long back in there, because right after that he popped up, and you bring him in there and Stephanie McMahon humiliate him. It's like this, you know, I don't like to call women bitches, but this bitch, she got a hard on humiliating people.
Alienating people.
Yeah. Because, I mean, shit, you know, that I'm no, spoiler alert, she's one of my kitchen bitches for that shit last week with Charlotte. Like, I didn't like that shit. Like, you build Charlotte up, you had her, you could see in her eyes, her didn't even tell her father the shit she had to tell him to get the fucking shit over. And then, next week, come back, the following week, that was 2 weeks ago, going on 3, you have her, Stephanie's all, you despicable and all this. Bitch, you didn't win against your father, your brother, your fucking husband, you didn't did all this shit. What kind of fucking hypocritical shit is that? And I'm like, for what? What was the fucking purpose of her doing that? I didn't see the fucking end game. How did that help anything?
What was frustrating about interacting with Stephanie McMahon is you can only go so far, like you always said. Yep. And it's like, Charlotte should have called her a hypocritical bitch, but she can't. And it's like, okay, you just had Charlotte. Let me tell you, Charlotte, good job. You look like a good queen bee out there. You're doing a good job with what's the buff girl that be with her?
Dana Brooke.
Dana Brooke. I love coming out in heels. Fantastic look. I liked it. That's what I'm saying. It seemed like Stephanie still got to steal some of their heat. For what? What do you need their heat for? You know?
You're the vice president of the company.
And like that shit with Teddy Long, that was stupid. It's like everybody was good to see him. You know, we know probably because of his health and his age, we knew he wouldn't be like on a full-time role and stuff. And although if you look on his Facebook page, he is accepting bookings. The thing is, like, do you have to humiliate him like that?
And it wasn't just enough for once. She had to do it multiple times.
Yeah.
During the fucking night, like.
It makes you wonder who's gonna come back next week that she's gonna fucking humiliate. And Shane McMahon wasn't there.
With Bischoff? Or fucking Paul Heyman, go through all the fucking with Vicky Guerrero. I mean, I remember she loved fucking with Vicky Guerrero.
I can see that.
That was like a hard one. I hope Vicky don't come back to have that bitch to fucking humiliate you.
Yeah.
You know, you just stay at home with your husband. You know, with your daughters. You know, enjoy seeing your son-in-law part of the vaudeville, putting in work. You know, that really pissed me off. Like Stephanie, I swear, if we had a show last fucking week, that bitch would have been my kitchen bitch. And then to see her do that to Teddy Long, and Teddy Long, let's be honest, either a general manager or a manager, he's a Hall of Famer.
Why
and
ain't
I'm
he
like,
in there?
And I'm like, you sitting there for what? You humiliating for what? What is the end game?
There's no reason.
It's like she has some kind of, it gets her twat fucking moist or something.
I don't know.
To do that. She has to. I know since these last 2 years that she been predominantly on TV, she has to humiliate people. The only one that ever got a fucking piece was that I could think was Rebella, but then she still had to take the job and still had to get fucked up.
Yeah.
And then shit, AJ, AJ was trying to fucking it, and then she had to humiliate her, with that shit. And then now you got Charlotte, and then you want to fucking humiliate her, like. What?
She's right in the peak of doing her role.
And you taking her heat for what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're not the only people. Go check out the Taz show. I mean, Taz be saying that shit too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Taz is knowledgeable. That's somebody that was an announcer. Fucking, he always fucking say on this fucking show, like, this ain't gonna get me in the Hall of Fame. But, I mean, and you can technically say a Hall of Fame wrestler if you look at the ECW shit and the SmackDown being announcer and all that shit. Hall of Famer. And he sat there and he has a good eye, and I give him credit for that. He critiques and criticizes every fucking thing.
Yeah.
But they sit there and wrap that shit up. That was just a pet peeve of mine. I don't want to fucking dwell on that shit too.
And that was an integral part of the last 2 Raws also. Also Rusev furthering his United States reign.
That dude, he gets a gold fucking star. I'm proud of that boy. The
feud with him and Titus O'Neil starting to build up and stuff, and it's gonna be interesting. I don't think he should drop the Titus O'Neil. But he's doing a good job as a champion.
He's sitting here showing you the man has personality. They've been stifling him. He has personality. The dude, not only he can wrestle, we know he can wrestle. That's beyond question.
And he's starting to lean up too.
Yeah. And I'm like, you see this dude, and I mean shit, you go on Wrestleheads right now as I speak at the Country Music Awards, he's out there with his U.S. title. That's what I'm fucking talking about, a fucking champion. That's what a fucking champion does. You take that belt with you wherever the fuck you go. And I mean shit, nobody want to fucking say this shit. The Miz fucking did that shit beautifully. I mean, CM Punk did it some, but the fucking Miz head and shoulders was above, he represented the fucking title. You take that shit out there with you. And see, that's where some of these motherfuckers get lost. Like, you the fucking champion. You take that shit wherever the fuck you go. You on the red carpet, that belt's right there. So they asking, what belt is that? You represent your division and your fucking company. Rusev, good fucking job.
So you got that to look forward to. And then you also got the big storyline with John Cena versus AJ Styles. And
it got a little real.
Yeah.
Shit got real.
I mean, when they started shooting on each other on Raw, it was pretty good. Obviously, they scaled back as much as they can, but they had to add some realism into it because...
And John Cena fucked up and said Bullet Club.
Yeah.
I don't think he was supposed to say that.
This is the match where, it's a long time coming. Should it be at Money in the Bank? No, it should have been at SummerSlam.
Yeah, they should have helped that shit off.
Yeah, but, the way WWE is, they'll probably wrestle at SummerSlam also. But it was good. It got personal. AJ held his own on the mic. Cena always does a good job on the mic. Luke Gallows got on them British Knights. You know what I'm saying? But the way they set it up, they have it where they jumped on Cena, they jumped on the New Day.
But shit, you gotta remember that line, man. He said, because I got back up, because people like you, every time somebody go against you, they get buried.
Yeah.
And that was some real shit. As we talked about the past person, Rusev. Rusev was a house of fire. I remember telling y'all motherfuckers a year plus ago, I'm like, no, this shit scares the shit out of me because they're gonna bury Rusev.
But I also told you that he would bounce back.
A year fucking something later.
You said he was dead, he was done.
A year or something later. He was dead. They took his bitch. They took everything. You know what changed their luck? What changed their luck? They took it whole. You know, they tried to put her with Dolph Ziggler, and they cut that shit out. They said, no, fuck that. We're together in real life. And they forced the WWE's hand. You know Vince and them was pissed about that shit.
And he was smoking that cigar, cooking them steaks.
Yeah. He matched him on his ass.
Good job. And I would like to see a title reign on that guy later on down the line.
That dude is a world champion waiting.
Yeah, with them opening up another, hopefully
he's a fucking world champion waiting. Next year, I wanted to see him get the IC belt. I would like to see him, after this US run, give him an IC run so people know him with a fucking belt.
No, that's a good question. Now, the IC champ is The Miz.
Yeah.
Right? He's away filming a movie.
One of the best fucking heels in this business right now.
So, is he going to be there for Money in the Bank?
Yeah, I believe so. They're going to have him fucking go for that match. He's filming the Marine 5 or some shit.
So you got that going on, and then the tag team title picture, you know, it looks like a fatal 4-way tag with, the Club, the New Day, the Vaudevillains, and
Enzo and Cass.
Enzo and Big Cass. And I mean, that was a toss-up because you really don't know what is WWE going to do with that belt. Is the New Day's reign coming to an end?
That's the one thing I'm for sure. I'm thinking this is the end of the New Day. I think that's why they stacking up the cards
so high
like this, because you wouldn't have figured like, okay, where the fucking Vaudevillains lost? They should be out. It should be Enzo and Cass, and then you slide the fucking the club in there. Now my prediction is I'm leaning towards either between Vaudevillains and Enzo and Cass. I don't think they're gonna give it to the Club because I think the Club, they got a bigger picture for the Club right now. So it's gonna be them, and then the New Day so fucking over they can take them from them. So that put them out the way. Now I come down to Enzo and Cass and the Vaudevillains.
It's gonna go to Enzo and Cass.
I'm thinking they're
because the Vaudevillains haven't made the splash that they were supposed to make.
I'm thinking they're gonna fuck Enzo and Cass because that's what everybody wants.
But see,
the Vaudevillains is gonna be the ones.
That's not gonna be right though because they did that in NXT.
When the fuck is this shit ever right?
They did that shit in NXT.
But the difference is the Vaudevillains actually won the belts down there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When Enzo and Cass should have got it down there, they gave it to the Vaudevillains.
Shit, but then they gave it to the Rival. They gave it to a lot of other fucking teams.
Yeah.
So, you know.
We'll get to that, too, because NXT had their show tonight. We're going to go ahead and breeze through TNA Impact Wrestling.
I think you said breeze.
You know, TNA, they're something, you know. Alright, so basically, here's the thing, right? You got this Matt and Jeff Hardy rivalry going on. Last week's Impact...
Brother Nero!
Yeah, the last week's Impact was them having a scene in an abandoned gym.
No, it was at his house where they fucking do
that
big money Matt's house, a.k.a.
Right, but it was like...
Sweeney Todd, a.k.a. broke-ass Seth Rollins.
But what I'm saying is it was like their... It was in their abandoned gym that they had.
It's on the property.
Yeah, and they had this wooden table from the thrift store or something like
that. Already broke.
Yeah, and man, I haven't seen bad acting like that since softcore porn in the 90s.
No, but the thing about
it was horrible.
It's when after Jeff got in there and then Matt tried to roll out. You could tell they cut it, and Matt was trying to roll. He couldn't get from under the rope. It's like he was like, all you hear it, and he trying to roll under. Like, Jesus Christ.
Matt Hardy looks disgusting. This new gimmick is fucking disgusting.
It's a Sweeney Todd.
I don't care what it is. He looks like shit.
And he got a bad accent.
Yeah, he looks like fucking
Brother
shit.
Nero!
I ain't gonna lie.
I was saying that shit all weekend.
I just don't even like to see him like that. And then this week on Impact, you know, they had the shit go down where Jeff Hardy was playing that
Willow.
That fucking character again, where he was too high to wrestle Sting. You know, he was doing that. He was doing that shit again. You know, with this bullshit, where that bullshit belt came from, and all that manifestation, and all this shit. You know, before all that bullshit went down, the reigning champion Drew Galloway was fucking stretching Matt Hardy out in that fucking ring, and then Lashley, because Lashley is the #1 contender to the title. And they do have a date with Destiny at Slammiversary, which is in their words the biggest event of the summer. That's strictly their words. That was not endorsed by Wrestleheads. That was some shit that they fucking said. Now, they have a date with Destiny coming up.
Yes,
So you know, Bobby Lashley and Drew Galloway started mixing it up, and they mixed it up all the way back up to the stage, which left Matt Hardy in the ring by himself, looking just as broken, as dumb and stupid as he normally does, right? And then you know they had the Jeff Hardy Druids come out, and a couple of them looked naked, and I didn't like that. You know, and then he had that Carnival character up there, Willow, yeah, Fargo, whatever the fuck. And then they had him come out at the end. So apparently this is supposed to be beefing up their rivalry. Let me tell you something, folks. From day one, I've never signed off on Matt versus Jeff Hardy. To me, it was a matchup that should have never happened.
That shit was bad at what WrestleMania was that?
I can't remember which WrestleMania it was.
It was horrible.
He was talking about his dog, and he was talking about Jack dying, and
that was horrible.
What
about your dog? What about Jack?
I never liked the idea of those two wrestling against each other. That's like putting Axe against Smash. It only worked in the first Royal Rumble of '87 for the first 2 minutes, and then you can never do that shit again.
Some brothers got chemistry working in the ring together. Goldust and Cody, you know, fucking Bret and Owen, you know, shit. Either one of the fucking Von Erichs if they would have won against each other, because they was just good. I mean, shit. I'm running out of brothers.
I never. Well, the Guerreros were good against each other too, but
you talking about which one?
I never liked the fact that
Hector and Chavo's classic.
Nah.
Mondo.
Well, I like Mondo.
Eddie?
I like Mondo and I like Hector. Chavo Classic, I always pass on that guy. But let me tell you something. You know, I never liked the idea of Jeff and Matt having to go against each other. I just didn't like that. But also TNA furthered their storyline with Eli Drake versus Bram. Eli Drake had a big show where apparently Abyss and his cracked out tag team came out there.
Jesus.
Abyss now wears
The
Decay, yeah, they look just like fucking Decay too, rotten as fucking earth. So you had them come out, and Abyss, I mean, I'm just so disappointed in Abyss. This guy's a TNA legend, now he's just another accessory piece. Again, it's like, man, I never really got to see this guy shine and be his own guy, and like be like, you know, I'm Abyss, I'm the toughest guy here, I've been here the longest.
Because they always confusing his character, they keep changing the character.
Yeah, so
he was a fucking, in the early fucking 2000s, he was a badass, right? He was a monster. He was mowing motherfuckers down.
He was a Mankind knockoff. Okay.
Well, he was bigger.
But I'm just saying, you had that.
He was mowing motherfuckers down.
Then he became a prisoner.
Yeah.
He had the prison suit on for a little while.
Then there was another one.
And then like, you know, after
he became Jackie Parks.
After he broke away from James Vandenberg, that's when the shit kind of went south. Yeah. But after that, he became a full-blown bum. He was happy that Hogan gave him groceries. And
you remember Hogan gave him his Hall of Fame?
Hall of Fame. Oh fuck. Anyway, we're not gonna get sidetracked on that shit. All right, so getting back to the deal itself. So they got a big tag team picture also because you got the Decay. They're gonna be going against what was that the Indian?
The Bromans.
The Bromans, Robbie E. and Jesse Goddard, and they got and they got their female too. And then you also had some other guys come out who I didn't know who the fuck they were. Stay tuned for that. And then they also had that Indian dude, Quita. He came out.
It's Shira.
Yeah.
Where the fuck you get?
I thought the nigga name was Quita.
No, it's not Quita. It's Muhammad Shira.
Anyway,
I
had a lot of potential for that guy, and I expected that guy to do
it was a shit show. You got Al Snow blowing the fucking whistle like
and
he the fucking coach. Reference early WWE back in the 1990s. Manager used to manage Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, but
or you can say
Bill Alfonso.
Bill Alfonso.
Yeah, that was.
Hey, Daddy.
That was something else too. But anyway, so you got Slammiversary coming up, and you got all their matchups going on. You know, any news on the X Division?
I don't know, ice cream shit, but Trevor Lee still X Division champion.
Right.
With your boy manager, Mr. Green Coat. What is with him with that fucking green coat? He wears that shit all the time.
Oh, you talking about the Hurricane?
Yeah, fucking Shane Helm. This motherfucker wears that coat all the fucking time. I get it, it's a little green little X in the fucking belt. It's a knockoff of the return of the Intercontinental title that they had some years back. But goddamn, go put some other clothes on. And he wear that fucking do-rag. You're not the Hurricane no more.
Well, whatever it is, it's TNA Wrestling is what it is.
Fuck it. They find new ways to fuck up coffee.
And they did, let me tell you something. They did a weigh-in with EC3
And the Miracle.
and Mike Bennett, the Miracle. And I'm thinking, is this a main event? No. Is this for a championship? No. Is this even going to be towards the end of the show? Maybe.
See?
When I saw it.
He got him coughing.
Yeah, it's fucking me up. Because when I saw it, I was like, this is something you do. This is something that Bobby Lashley and Drew Galloway should have been doing.
Yeah.
You know? But nonetheless, they're going to lock it up at Slammiversary. And tune in to Wrestleheads, you TNA fans.
I ain't got a problem with Bennett. You got two good workers in Bennett and fucking EC3.
So we're gonna give you those results on that show. We'll get you up to date on that on the next Wrestlehead show. Now, moving on, I want to touch on Lucha Underground. Now, Lucha Underground last week,
because they didn't have no episode.
Yeah.
This week, I think they had a whole Muhammad Ali tribute.
They did a whole tribute for him on the El Rey Network, and
so
nobody can argue with that.
So as we didn't have a show last week,
we're gonna go ahead and give you the Lucha Underground of last week. And let me tell you something. Now they opened the show with, doesn't matter who they did that with.
Exactly.
They did the Trios Championship where Johnny Mundo and them, they won again. They get them out the way.
They got disqualified because Prince Puma kicked Mundo in the ball.
And then he fucking knocked out that female.
Super kick! Doing Mr. Wrestling 3, or AKA fucking Steve Corino, the King of Hardcore. That's fucking dumb.
We're gonna really have to talk about that King of Hardcore talk.
Yeah,
but
no, they call him King Corino.
King Corino, yeah, they do.
What the fuck? He was the king of?
They do that.
Like he was a martyr. The best thing in that motherfucking career was Dusty Rhodes wearing his ass out. I'm just being honest with you.
And wearing those fucking Barry Windham boots.
Well, those are all the Texans used to wear them.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I don't know why they call you King Corino, but I digress. Go ahead.
Fuck that King Corino bullshit. We need to talk about this Lucha Underground main event that went down.
Yeah, let's fast forward to
Cage won that fucking prize where he could claim himself to be the #1 contender. He cashed in on Matanza Cueto.
Oh, fucking El Jefe's bro.
Let me tell you something, dude.
Could I do a fucking be honest? I ain't never really looked at fucking the big fucking Cueto. God fucking damn. That motherfucker can work. I mean, real shit. For him being a big man, like, shit, hold on, I gotta do my Ric Flair. Big man! That motherfucker, Jesus. If you ain't watched Lucha Underground, here, I'm gonna be A-Mark for 3 seconds. If you ain't watched Lucha Underground, you need to watch that shit. For that dude. Him and fucking Cage. They tore that fucking temple fucking, I can't even say a house. They tore the temple fucking down. Go ahead.
YouTube it. YouTube that shit. Cage versus Matanza Cueto for the Lucha Underground Championship. That's the best match I've seen this year in any wrestling organization.
Well, no, I can't.
I'm calling it because
Roman Reigns and AJ.
No,
I ain't gonna go there. I ain't gonna go as far as you.
It's better than that because let me tell you, no, it is.
Because
whenever you have,
that's the best big man shit I've seen all year. I'll say that.
Whenever you have two heavyweights that are definitely exemplifying the strongest moves out there, the fastest moves out there, the most charismatic moves out there. That was the best fucking wrestling match I've seen this year.
And let me tell you something,
I encourage you to see that match and really look at that match. They were doing backflips. They were doing all kinds of shit.
They were doing power spots.
The power moves.
They German suplexed each other to fucking death. Like, they went to Suplex City.
And I
bet you Brock Lesnar wouldn't take none of that shit.
And they're big.
He'll bitch out.
They were big guys. No, he wouldn't.
He bitch out.
They were big guys. I'm sorry. That was by far one of the best matches. And Matanza Cueto kept the belt. He defeated Cage. And we haven't seen Cage get his ass kicked like that in Lucha Underground. But Cage was giving it back to him too. And it was just like, it was so back and forth. You didn't know who the fuck was going to win. And they put it over so well. That's why it really pains me to know that since we know the dirt sheets and stuff, I'm really trying to figure out how is Sexy Star going to win this belt. Because That guy, Matanza Cueto, he beat the best guy in the company, in my opinion, which was Cage. Which is why he is champion. He done made Mil Muertes look like shit. He done made, the Pentagon, DC, whatever the fuck he is, made him look like shit. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry, just the way that guy worked.
Cueto.
I know why he's the champion.
Jeff Cobb, if you don't know who he is, he's on the Independence. That fucking dude.
That man is a fantastic wrestler.
His power moves, how he was throwing Cage.
The man did a standing somersault. Not even a somersault, that was a standing backflip. At his size, with all that shit on.
Yeah, he got a lot of shit on. He in a fucking goddamn nails jumpsuit.
And he wasn't sucking air at
and
all.
And a
fucking
super fucking
match.
Shit, I seen Cage sucking air. That's one of the times you ain't never seen Cage get pushed that hard. He got pushed.
Let me tell you something. Fantastic match. I wouldn't stress this to you enough.
That was my cold match of the fucking week.
YouTube that match. That match has to be watched.
Man, that shit's that goddamn shit. Props to Lucha Underground for booking that shit. Props to fucking Manzana Cueto, and fucking goddamn the Machine Brian Cage for getting that shit done. And props to Cage too, cause him, Mundo, and fucking forget when they won the Lucha Libre Cup.
Yeah, the Lucha Cup.
Yeah, they won that.
Now,
but that fucking match, that shit was a fucking revelation. That dude, look out for that fucking Cueto boy. God damn.
When you get a chance, you check that out. Now we're gonna move on to WWE NXT. They had their premiere show, which is their form of the pay-per-view tonight. It was called This Is the End. Now, this was a pretty good match. This was some good stuff that went on tonight. No real major surprises or anything like that. Just a whole lot of good wrestling.
No, you can say a surprise.
I really wasn't surprised with any of the outcomes with this upcoming draft coming up. Were you?
Yeah, well, that part, but you wouldn't expect it this soon. Because they still got a little buffer time for the draft. That's what I'm saying. Because we had tonight, it started off with the debut of Andrada Cien Almas. Cien is supposed to be the hunted. So, in Espanol, he went against the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger. And Ty Dillinger, he's a damn good, or Sean Spears, he's a damn good worker, because the new guy, they always have him go against him. Mm-hmm. He breaks them in, and try to make them look good. And it was a little clunky to me with him. It was an okay debut. Apollo Crews was better. I could say Samoa Joe was better. It didn't blow your skirt back kind of debut. It wasn't like Nakamura's first match.
And then after that, you had the NXT tag titles on the line. You had American Alpha,
the champs,
defending against the Revival.
Damn good match.
They went out there.
Fucking good match.
They went out there. They did what they had to do. Great moves, great showmanship. Man, you really got to see that hard-hitting power of the Revival, and nothing's been taken away from American Alpha. The way their team. What I liked about those tag teams, they use tag team moves. Like, they actually work as a true tag team. It's not
a unit.
Yeah, not two individuals just forming together to prove a point. These are real legitimate tag teams. And unfortunately, American Alpha did lose the championships. Revival has regained them back.
They are the first two-time
NXT Tag Team Champions
ever.
And they're good. I like them. So
they're throwback. They remind me of Arn and Telly.
They're pretty.
They got that style. Like you can see them, and they little fucking shit is no flips, just fists. Yeah. Like they said, they'll beat the hell out of your ass.
They're just hard hitting.
Yeah, and they went out there and they got the job fucking done.
So they did. They won the belts. They took them off of American Alpha. And then after the match, the match following was the greatest man that ever lived.
Hold on, you forgot one part. The new tag team premiered.
Oh,
Authors of Pain.
Okay.
They went in there and beat the shit
out of American
Alpha. So
excuse me, I do apologize.
Not only they lost their belts and they got their ass beat afterwards. Two big motherfuckers. It looked like two Manzana Cuetos fucking without mask was in that fucking ring and they beat the shit out of him. Then that wasn't just the fucking.
And then in a surprise twist, they have a manager.
A Hall of Fame manager.
A manager who has managed a tag team that was known for hard
greatest fucking tag team
and
of all fucking time.
And running roughshod over the wrestling business. And we're talking about none other.
The fucking pretty
Paul
Ellering.
Ellering. Without the newspaper.
I was looking for the newspaper, I ain't gonna lie. I was like, where the New York Times?
Let me tell you something. Whenever you align yourself with a guy like that and you're two big hard hitters, you ain't going to have to say much. You ain't going to have to really do much business-wise because he's going to cover you. You just get in the ring and kick ass.
And can I say something? How dare you fucking NXT fans don't know who the fuck he is and you saying that fucking bitch-ass chant? Who are you? That is a motherfucking Hall of Famer.
My thing is this. If they didn't
I expect better of y'all fucking fans.
If they didn't show him on the big screen, maybe they didn't know who he was from a distance. But like, as soon as we saw him, I'm like, wait, is that Paul Ellering? And props to Paul Ellering too for goddamn looking the same age as he were in the '90s. Like he looked like he really ain't aged all that much.
But see, you know what that was? When Hawk and Animal probably he's doing all that smacking shit. He wasn't doing that shit.
Yeah, he was just taking care of business. Yeah, he was on the business side for real.
But you remember, he was trying to teach them how they get their money.
Yeah.
He made a lot of money on the stock market. He was the pre-JBL, before JBL was with that stock market and being in professional wrestling.
So, with that being said,
now
the match following was Nakamura, versus Austin Aries.
Which that was fucking match.
Austin Aries, he had those good old super tape ribs up, and everything like that. Man, they had a fantastic match. It was a good story told from beginning to end. We knew Nakamura was going to win the match. But man, Austin Aries beat the living hell out of him from beginning to end. It was a textbook wrestling match. Nakamura came out with the steam, the positive, 2 good moves, and then the rest of the match, he got his ass kicked by Austin Aries until the very end. 3 hot spots. Thank you, go home.
But of course, it was longer than that. But
and nothing taken away from Austin Aries in this match. I mean, the crowd was totally in.
I ain't gonna lie to you. That's Austin Aries' best match since he's been in NXT. And Nakamura did it again.
Fantastic.
Another fucking masterpiece of a fucking match. It might not have been as good as the fucking Nakamura versus Sami Zayn, but goddamn, it's right fucking under.
I mean, it was fantastic.
It was a damn good match. And that's probably gonna fucking the 3-way tie for match of the week between Cueto, motherfucking this one, and then the fucking Ospreay and Ricochet last week.
So the thing is, you had that match go down, and then you had the NXT Women's Championship, which is Asuka defending against Nia Jax. And, that was a pretty good match. That was basically David versus Goliath, the female version.
But it was hard. They were going after each other.
They was going after each other. And, Asuka was able to regain the title. But towards the end of that match, we noticed that doctor was spending a lot of time in Nia Jax's corner.
Asuka caught Nia with a few of them knees.
Yeah, so
there was a concussion protocol.
We don't know if she really got hurt or what, because she screamed at the end like she was really frustrated. And I would give it to her. But the thing is...
You would give her what?
No, I can't. She's a beautiful woman. She's got a little bit of size in her. Anyway.
See them early pictures of her.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So the thing is, Asuka went over. She retained the NXT Women's Championship. But more importantly, we're going to keep you up to date on Nia Jax's medical condition, because it looked like something was really wrong with her towards the end of that. Now, getting into the brass tacks of the whole show.
I know you got that fast.
Oh, we got a timer over there.
Of course, we always on a fucking timer. But then after that cut off, then you see William Regal talking, and then who you see come out of the silhouette came up, went past, looked, drinking a cup of coffee, went in the office, Bobby Roode. Now, Triple H was talking that shit yesterday, talking about Bobby Roode ain't under a contract. I'm sorry. I don't think he be showing this motherfucker that goddamn much.
He under a contract.
If he wasn't under a fucking contract. So I'm expecting a next little show taping. Bobby Roode's probably going to be on there. He's going to be the fucking big signing and all that shit. So now you can go roll into the main.
Yeah, because I agree with that. Now, the main event, NXT Championship match. Champion, Samoa Joe, defending against Finn Balor. Steel cage, first time in NXT. Boy, what a match. Finn Balor came out doing his thing. He was the demon. Man, him and Joe really took it to each other.
That motherfucker's a showman.
Man,
he's a showman.
They really took it to each other hard. And I mean, they used every part of that cage. I mean, it was just like Bobby Heenan used to say back in the day, You know, the Horsemen know how to use that cage. These guys, they knew how to use that goddamn cage tonight. And they worked each other harder than hard. But at the end of the match and at the end of the night, Samoa Joe,
retained
with a super muscle buster from the second rope, took down Finn Balor again, fair and square. So now, that was the end of your show. That's how your show went home. Now, this is my question to you at home, folks. Finn Balor lost. American Alpha lost. Does that mean that they are going to be heading up to the main roster in July's draft? That is the question. And how many others are going to be heading up? Because Triple H did put that filler out there.
Yeah. I think this was going to happen, if I can give some my prediction. Them three, you just said it right there. Balor, Alpha, gone. They're gone. I think Nakamura. I think Nakamura's gone too. Because I don't picture him staying down there for a long period of fucking time.
Yeah.
Now, I was thinking maybe Joe, maybe not Joe.
No, Joe's gonna hold that strap.
But Joe might stay down there a little bit longer.
Joe versus Robert Roode. They're gonna have that TNA rematch.
So you got that, and then who else been down there? Bayley. I'm willing to bet Bayley's going up. She's going up too because she's so fucking over, you know. And then you got fucking. I'm predicting Oscar too. So I'm thinking from here to now. I honestly think tonight with that, I think she was supposed to drop the belt and something went wrong.
Maybe. It's a strong possibility.
And then they called a fucking audible. And that's how that shit went. So I'm thinking them fucking people going up.
Alright, so with that being said, those are your shows, your companies getting caught up.
Because we didn't see SmackDown.
Well, to me, SmackDown, again, is until they do this brand extension, SmackDown is still just an extension of Raw. So all your matches that you saw on Raw, they just reverse them and put them on SmackDown.
And we filming before the Ring of Honor to see any fucking results or anything. Because you got to work hard to try to catch Ring of Honor on TV.
Yeah. So go ahead and Go ahead and start off the news and notes.
Well, see, got a little run sheet right here.
Well, I mean, if you want me to start them, I'll start them.
Well, you can start that run sheet.
All right. Well, the biggest news of the week is, Brock Lesnar, the WWE's one of their best wrestlers they got. He is. I don't care what
that
you
nigga
say.
ain't the fucking best.
He's one of the best.
You wrestle 3 matches a year. He won the best wrestler.
He's one of the best wrestlers.
Oh man, that's fucking
hands down. Because
fucking shit.
Because when Brock Lesnar hits the curtain, everyone shows up. Just like when he's gonna hit that curtain at UFC 200. That is correct, folks. He is confirmed. He is signed. He will be at the Ultimate Fighter. Ultimate Fighting 200, July, I believe is July 9th. He will be facing Mark Hunt. Now, he went on ESPN and he explained to Hannah Storm exactly what the situation was. Some of us agree with it and some of us do not. However, whether you like it or not, Brock's going to be doing double duty because he's already booked for SummerSlam and he's going to be booked for the UFC 200. So you just stay tuned for that. I ain't going to lie to you. Now that he's on that card, I'm going to order that pay-per-view because I'm a Brock Lesnar fan. Always have been.
Order that shit show. Let me tell you something.
I got a feeling you're going to order UFC 202.
So, why would I order 202? It sounds like you want to say something.
Because apparently, CM Punk is supposed to be fighting at UFC 202. But that's still to be determined. Anyway, now, we can go back and forth on this Brock Lesnar shit, but we really don't need to get into it because of that goddamn timer over there.
No, because he a fucking putz.
You can say what you want.
You know?
Anyway.
Because, hold on, let me get this out. Because let me tell you something, that son of a bitch, he can go fucking full throttle for UFC, but for the fucking company that's paying him damn near $7 million.
Hey.
$7 million. He won't fucking do this shit.
You're telling me he ain't going full throttle for the WWE?
Fuck no.
Every time he goes out there, he goes full throttle. What are you talking about?
Bullshit. That son of a bitch, he barely shows up.
The bottom line is this.
He wants to be fucking compensated. And that's Vince McMahon and Triple H. I blame you two.
You blame them. Don't blame Brock Lesnar. They pay him for appearances like
I ain't fucking dealing with his ass either. That bitch motherfucker, and I'm calling him a bitch.
Far from it.
Yeah, he a bitch motherfucker. Because you sit there, you got a job to do.
Ain't nothing I've seen
and let me tell you
from him in history say bitch.
He said bitch. Because he sat there held the WWE. Y'all talk shit about CM Punk doing all type of shit, but you give that son of a bitch a pass.
Brock Lesnar does what he has to do, man.
Does what? The motherfucker works 3 days a year.
You blame again. Talk to Vince about that.
Shit. I'm sorry, but making that goddamn much money, and you look at him about this UFC shit, he seems excited. Anything WWE, he's fucking melancholy about the shit.
That's bullshit. You know goddamn well why he's going back to the UFC. Because the way he went out wasn't right.
And he's gonna get knocked out this time.
He got beat because of his fucking medical condition.
Mark Hunt's gonna knock his ass out.
He owes it to himself to go back to make sure he can do it or not.
When he get his punk ass knocked out, I'm gonna laugh.
Mark Hunt is not knocking him out.
Go Hunt.
Shit. Yeah, you don't go right down the shitter with that one.
Shit.
So anyway, now there's a rumor. TNA. There's a rumor that TNA is going to induct AJ Styles into their Hall of Fame. So my question to you, TNA, better yet, you Dixie, do they have to go to WWE so that you can induct them? Is that how it works? Because he made his bones in TNA. He should have been inducted into that goddamn Hall of Fame before any of the WWE guys. But now you want to put him in there? Because
look how long they took to put Jared in there. He was the fucking creator.
He's the founder.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, that right there, when I heard that.
That is like a bad publicity stunt.
When I heard that, I was just like, man, I hope that's not true. Because that's going to make TNA look almost as bad as when they put up there on Twitter that fucking Jeff Hardy's going against Jeff Hardy tonight. It was at Jeff Hardy brand will face at Jeff Hardy brand.
Yeah,
I'm thinking, ain't that the same person?
Yeah. Unless you talking about Willow. Willow go against Jeff.
We don't need any of those fucking double dragon fucking double matches with the same motherfuckers in them. Anyway, now the internet's been buzzing, ESPN's been buzzing. You know, the wrestling world has been on fire because of this independent match between Will Ospreay and Ricochet. Now, I personally have not seen it, but I heard that it's definitely been a barn burner.
I seen it. It was a spot fucking fest, man. They was over in New Japan. That shit was fucking amazing. Ospreay, the WWE's already looking at him. He's supposed to be part of that cruiserweight shit. Okay. And then you got fucking Ricochet, a.k.a. if you don't know Ricochet, a.k.a. Prince Puma on Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
That motherfucker should have been had a contract a long time ago. I've been preaching his shit for the longest. I kept trying to tell motherfuckers on this show and you out there in TV land, like, that fucker is money. He is fucking money. And
apparently he did it again with this match against Will Ospreay.
Yeah, Ospreay won the match. Hit like a fucking super fucking RKO or cutter, whatever fuck, either or. But the fucking spots, you look it up, you can look on any wrestling site, they got him on there. You can look it up on YouTube. It was on ESPN. There's been a fucking buzz. Like, you see why them two fuckers should have a contract. And Will Ospreay just won the was it the Juniors Cup for over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he just won that over the weekend. But that fucking match was a fucking masterpiece. I mean, we've been getting blessed from this week to this week, last week to this week, of fucking matches where you say, holy shit, they're gonna go into fucking the PWI, they're gonna be going part of the best match of the fucking year type of shit. And I mean, shit, you know, I feel privileged as a wrestling fan. I mean, other than you got fucking bullshit from fucking TNA, you got Lucha Underground fuck ups here and there, but they put out a good match. You got this shit New Japan showing you guys done. You've been seeing AJ Styles versus goddamn Roman Reigns. Great fucking matches. And I mean, now we get to see another fucking masterpiece with the New Japan putting a little twist on the shit. So props out to Ricochet and Ospreay for putting on a goddamn dandy of a fucking match.
And with that being said, you know, going in the fall, it's going to be time for the new WWE to come out, the new WWE video game, WWE 17. I'm sure some of you have seen the commercials. It looks like you're going to be able to play as Bill Goldberg if you order early or something like that. And I mean, that's all right, but the underlying factor in that is Bill Goldberg, has he struck a deal with WWE in terms of maybe making an appearance, maybe one appearance, maybe two, or is he just going to go back to Bull Run? We don't know. Okay, but the thing is, he's going to be on this game this fall. Usually when a guy shows up on those commercials, he usually does something. So we'll be looking to see that. Go ahead and shoot the news and notes.
I'm thinking Goldberg will try to work his way back in the shit.
Well, there may not be room for him, but he can always try.
I mean, you know,
maybe as an ambassador.
it ain't too many goddamn news and notes right now because I mean we covered a lot of the shit during the fucking week, but you know, we sit there. You gotta say wrestling. You're feeling a little more positive about the wrestling, except the fucking TNA shit. I mean, other than that,
I mean, you know, and TNA's got bright spots. They really do, but
Drake.
Yeah, they got good spots. They got bright spots over there. They really do, but you got to clean up how you do your internet stuff. You should never have Jeff Hardy against Jeff Hardy advertised. You know, you should never have those little fucking phony adult videos with fucking Matt and Jeff in the back. Haven't you learned by now? Neither one of those guys can act. They can't. So you can't put them in a cinema type situation, you know? And for God's sakes, tell fucking Matt Hardy to go take a bath. Tell him to take a bath, cut his hair. Stop that shit he's doing. Because that is a bad look for Matt Hardy. I don't like to see him like that. Do you have any other...
Well, let's see. Daniel Bryan competed in his first Olympic lifting competition.
Okay.
So he's trying to find him something to do. The Usos reached a milestone last week when the Usos defeated Fandango and Tyler Breeze on the 5:30 episode of Raw. That was their 100th televised win. That makes them the first team to reach this milestone. No other tag team is anywhere close to that record.
That's good.
That's props for the Usos. Edge and Beth Phoenix had their second child.
Congratulations.
They had another little girl. I mean, props out to them. I mean, Rusev being a fucking beast out there. You know, I'm so much of a fan of fucking Rusev. Let's see, you got Brock Lesnar still out there, and on the side note, you know, we ain't talked about this as the deaths, and this one glanced by, and I was sitting there thinking about it. R.I.P. to Kimbo Slice. Kimbo Slice is, you can pound for pound, one of the toughest sons of bitches walking the fucking face, or he was walking the face of the fucking earth.
That's right. I mean, Kevin Ferguson out of Florida.
I mean, let me tell you something. That man, if you seen his fucking YouTube, that man had over 100 fucking street fights, man.
Almost,
Didn't I mean, because me, him, Amar, and a couple other people was debating on a Voxer. You should get Voxer if you want to talk to your friends. Walking, talking, where you at? But and we sitting here, they talking about Tank Abbott and Kimbo, and I was telling them I look at it different with Kimbo because like Kimbo did the boxing shit. He did the MMA shit. He did different companies in MMA.
The thing is, the only reason why you look at it differently with Kimbo Slice and Tank Abbott did this in 90s, like 92, 93. When he applied to UFC, he put 200 street fights on his application. That was not a joke. That was real shit. But we didn't have YouTube then. Kimbo, we were able to see all of his fights on YouTube. So it was more of a getting a visual. And then when they gave him this fight in Elite XC and he destroyed, I forgot who it was, that first poor bastard, where he fucking destroyed him. I mean, Elite XC was the promotion that really put Kimbo Slice on the map. And then when he got to his chance to go to UFC, I mean, it was just like his last loss from Elite XC. People ain't gonna stand up with you, you know, in the UFC and stuff like that.
No.
But when you stand up with Kimbo Slice, chances are you're gonna be the one hitting the ground. So definitely rest in peace to him. He had heart failure. Apparently he was on the list for, I don't want to go too much into this business, but you know, he's definitely a loss to the sporting world, the MMA world, the internet world.
I mean, you see the internet been buzzing because it ain't too many times you see one tough motherfucker, and that dude was a tough motherfucker.
And he was young. He was what, 42?
42, yeah. His son's a fighter. Junior, he's a fucking fighter. And I'm like, you sit there and see that dude, he was a fucking wrecking machine.
Yeah.
Like, man, that was you know, you heard her name, Kimbo Slice. Kimbo Slice. Like, he was getting it fucking done. And he's getting honored by a lot of places, a lot of people. And that show you how
he must have been a good dude.
Yeah, he was a good dude. They said, a lot of people say that, like, you get that tough-ass exterior, but he was a good family man. He was a good dude. And, I mean, the part I'm so proud of, he didn't die of no drugs in the system, no nothing. It was just straight heart failure. You know, we've been losing too many people with fucking drugs and shit like that. And it's good to have, not to be saying this shit, but a clean death. Somebody died clean reasons. Yeah. You know, that happens to a lot of people. You know, but R.I.P. fucking young Kimbo. You know, it's sad that you go, but you was a tough. And hey, that's true words. you was one tough son of a bitch. And when people say that damn name, everybody gonna remember that, and you gonna be forever respected. It's sad that you're no longer here, but you was one tough son of a bitch.
What else you got, Phil?
Now, I think that's pretty much fucking it. I mean, you got the Money in the Bank card starting to fucking file out, you know. Other than that, you know, I say let's get these goddamn KBs and DDT this episode.
Alright, well, you know, my kitchen bitch. I mean, I'm not going to say TNA is my kitchen bitch. I'm just going to simply say...
It's too easy.
No, I'm just going to simply say we're going to watch your pay-per-view on Sunday. And, you know, we're going to see what you got. And hopefully things can turn around. Just, you got to stop making the silly mistakes.
You're fucking Mr. Optimistic here.
No, I'm just saying, like, you got to stop making the silly mistakes, you know. I need a little bit more effort from TNA. You know, my kitchen
bitch. They might be giving you everything they got.
My kitchen bitch before, from Lucha Underground with all the cinematography and God, somebody giving Joey Ryan's slimy ass a gun. You know, I didn't see much of that. I like the fact
you didn't have that this week.
Yeah, I like the fact that it was just straight wrestling. And, you know, that's what I tune in for. Other than that, I don't really have a KB. Like I said, you know, with Muhammad Ali and Kimbo Slice and Sean Rooks and
it's been a tough fucking week.
So many folks just passing away, and I mean, I understand Muhammad Ali was 74 years old. He had battled Parkinson's for so long.
30-some years.
You know, I mean, it's never good to say this, but I can deal with him passing over Sean Rooks and Kimbo Slice, who were just in their 40s.
Yeah.
You know,
it make you real shit. It make you think about your own mortality when people that young.
Nobody knows the time nor the hour. It don't matter. It don't matter. Those guys are in great shape.
Yeah, I mean, so you got Kimbo was a fucking tank.
Right. So that goes to show you don't know the day or the hour. Cherish every day you got. Just be thankful that you're in the day that the Lord made. Rejoice and be happy in it.
I don't know. You know, my opinion is like I told you about Kimbo. I think it was just that high stress. You think about look at all them fights. If anybody been in a fight, you know it's fucking adrenaline, your blood pumping.
Yeah.
Like you worry about surviving, and like you think about this motherfucker had damn near 200 of them moments.
Yeah.
And it's your heart just do. I can't get my ass whooped. That's all you thinking.
Yeah.
I mean shit. But
go ahead,
but my fucking kitchen bitch, I alluded to Stephanie McMahon. She starting to act like a real cunt, and you know I don't like to use that goddamn word.
Tough words,
man. But I mean, really. Why you have to humiliate people? Like, what is the goal with that? What does that do? That's not putting nobody over. You're not putting your Stephanie McMahon rub on people. Okay? You're humiliating them. You're fucking them up. It's just like when she slapped people. Like, it's no get back. You can't get back.
You can't slap her back.
Let's be honest. The only one that got some kind of get back was Roman Reigns at WrestleMania when he speared that hoe. And that was it.
And you know he had to hug her, taking her down.
Yeah. Oh, you okay? You okay? Trips, she good, Trips. So that's one part.
I get a kick out of you calling Triple H Trips.
Trips, yeah. Preparation H, either fucking or. Then my other one was goddamn TNA with that goddamn fucking, you know what? Yeah, TNA Dixie sell, fucking sell. Why are you letting the Hardys write their own scripts? Why are you letting the Hardys write their own story? Because I can tell that's them writing this shit. Because it makes no fucking sense. This whole Willow shit, or this Jeff Hardy, fucking Matt Hardy at the fucking Matt's house, his fucking wife throwing a fucking Cabbage Patch doll at fucking Jeff. Jeff getting hit with some weird fucking glass object that I don't even know what the fuck it was. And then you falling off this goddamn grocery store table that was already fucking broke. And he running around with a bad accent saying, Brother Nero! And shit like that. I mean...
What's worse than that is this.
Jesus Christ.
After they do the storyline and they do all that, they're sitting at home having a cup of coffee and they're laughing about it.
And they really thought they did something good.
And all of us in the wrestling world has to suffer by watching that fucking shit.
They really think they're doing something good. That's the point. They like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. This is so great. I mean, shit. You go look at Colt Cabana's fucking video. He was laughing about this shit. Everybody's laughing about this shit. Shit like this make wrestling look bad. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I never liked the idea of Matt versus Jeff, man, because they could just...
It sucks.
It doesn't have a good twist to it.
It sucks. We seen it. We don't care. I don't care about Jeff versus Matt. Jeff versus Matt. It don't care. You know, you can bring your daddy, you can bring your wife. We don't care. We don't give a shit.
Let's just keep it 100 right now. There is no hope for Matt Hardy. The way he looks right now, the way he's just progressively letting himself go. Unless Edge comes down there and fucks your wife again, you got no fucking magic, buddy. It's time to hang it up.
And nigga, Edge is a married man with.
So we know he's not gonna do it.
No, he ain't gonna do it.
But let's be real. That's when Matt was at his absolute.
Yeah,
best.
he was at his apex.
Yeah, when Edge was text messaging Lita talking about just open your ass up one more time. And this nigga Matt talking about I want you out of my house. That was when that nigga was really on top of his shit. This shit that we're seeing today with him, I mean, we've seen this goofiness from Jeff Hardy already because they let him do all this dumb shit. They let him create that fucking ridiculous belt. They let him go to the ring high against Sting. They let him do all this stupid shit. But I expected more from Matt Hardy because Matt Hardy was the architect back in the day. And no, I'm not shooting on Seth with this one because he's a cracked out Seth Rollins. You know. I don't know.
Hero.
Look, he can't stop saying it because of that dumbass video y'all made. Can you imagine? I tell you, that was like some 1990s Red Shoe Diary fucking videotaping.
God damn.
That shit was horrible. The fucking voices weren't even right. And like you said, when that motherfucker tried to roll out the ring, you could tell they cut and script and clean that shit up. But they couldn't clean up that goddamn internet shit where it said Jeff Hardy was going against Jeff Hardy.
You know, I don't like shitting on TNA. And of course, they're an easy target. You know, we fucking talk shit about Lucha Underground. I can't say shit about Lucha Underground.
We talk shit about WWE. We talk shit about everything.
I can't.
We're opinionated. We fucking go in on everything.
I'm sorry. Lucha
and people
Underground.
go in on us. It's just the way the shit goes.
Lucha Underground, that goddamn match with fucking, what's the name?
I'm telling you, I ain't seen a match like that. That shit was fucking.
That was, I mean, you
that
gotta
blew
check.
my fucking mind.
You gotta check that out.
Matanza, Cueto versus Cage.
You look at this shit. Cueto versus Cage. Nakamura versus Austin Aries. You got fucking last week Ospreay versus Ricochet. I mean, you had a week of fucking good fucking wrestling, man. I mean, shit.
And I'm gonna just throw this out there before we take it to the house.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried about John Cena in this match coming up against AJ Styles because he looks like he's slower. You know, like if you're not gonna let John Cena work leading up to the pay-per-view, and then you just expect him to go in there and go 100 with AJ, it's not gonna look as good as you think. I hope he gets a tune-up match.
He
this
should
week on Raw.
have been fighting lately, but you can tell what they're probably trying to do is save it.
Well, no, don't have him wrestle AJ or touch him or anything.
His first match. They probably gonna say this is John Cena's official first match.
At least get that nigga
months.
fucking Tyler Breeze or somebody to get tuned up because.
But Tyler Breeze,
man, when you get in the ring with AJ, you gonna find out because you ain't seen it, but.
Because I mean, shit.
You gonna go 100?
AJ's on full cylinders. As you can see, Roman Reigns was keeping up on him, neck and neck. They was working. John Cena got a bar right there.
See, and that's another thing too, Randy. I don't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
But you got this Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. You got this AJ Styles and John Cena. These are SummerSlam matches.
And they shoot.
What the fuck are you gonna do for SummerSlam?
They shoot they wide right now.
No. That means something bigger must be going on. Because the draft will be already in place at that time. They might crown the SmackDown champion at SummerSlam.
No, you gotta have that champion before.
You never know though.
You gotta have a champion up and running. Honestly, after Money in the Bank, they should already have the fucking champion.
They should just give the Money in the Bank winner the belt.
No.
That's how you clean that up.
See, this is what I would say. You have that briefcase, and then you have women's match, like I said before, and you have the fucking. They ain't gonna do it, but I would prefer like you did it at Money in the Bank, where you came out knowing the direction of the company, knowing like, okay, you got your two champions. We don't know who's gonna go to fucking SmackDown. We don't know who's gonna go to Raw. You know, if you had that shit lined up, then that's something. But I mean, I digress. We're gonna sit here and fucking see what the fuck happens.
Tune in next time, Wrestleheads. Amar's out on assignment, and hopefully he'll be back in. But if not, we'll keep bringing it to you. And then we're also going to get his take from his own. Yeah, you'll get his take from his personal perspective because he will respond on the Wrestleheads video that goes up on Facebook. Check us out, man. Wrestleheads on Facebook. Have a good night.
Not only that, Wrestleheads on Facebook, Wrestleheads on Twitter, and now Wrestleheads on Instagram. And Instagram been getting a little push. I keep the information between the Instagram, so you can find the information on Instagram and Facebook.
Wow, so we are a sensation.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta try to get it out there and shit. Been doing this shit for years.
Have a good one, folks. Fade to black.
Oh, shit. Another episode in the goddamn can. And fucking Brock Lesnar is a bitch.
You just had to say some more shit, didn't you?
Yep.